All right, so I've been messing around trying to get a way for us to take PDFs and Word documents of existing resources that we already have and getting them into Teams for our students to use this upcoming semester. And I found a way that's pretty easy and appears to work the way that we need it to. So I need to open up Teams, and I'm also going into my OneDrive where I have those files I'm going to be using. This way that I'm going to show only works if you have the desktop version of OneNote installed. But the beginning here, I'm going to show the steps I show is going to make sure that you have that done. So I'm going to do this in a science team testing that I just made and added a couple people from the department in just to test out and make sure it worked the way that I thought it was going to. I need to make sure that it's set up as a class. Um, and if I've done that correctly, I'll see class notebook and assignments here, so I know that it works. The first thing that I need to do is open this class notebook in the desktop app, and that accomplishes two things at once. First, it makes sure that we have the app installed, which is going to be what allows us to add things to our notebook the way that we're going to. And when you go to add things to the notebook, it's only going to give you the option to add it to notebooks that you've previously opened in the app. So by opening it this way, that makes sure that this notebook that I want to add things to gets added to the list. Once I'm here, I need to make sure that I have some folders in my content library to put the things in that I'm going to upload. So I already have intro stuff in Unit 1. So I'm going to go into my content library and add Unit 2, just so that I'm adding it to a new spot. But you can call this anything. I can make this genetics and evolution and photosynthesis and cellular respiration, whatever I need it to be while I'm working. But once this is here, I'm going to go to my OneDrive where I have all of my files set up. And the one I'm going to use, I used an app called Microsoft Office Lens, which is free for the iPhone and any Android phones. And it allows you to take a picture of a worksheet and it converts it to a Microsoft Word document that it automatically uploads to your OneDrive in an Office Lens folder that it will create. That's kind of hit and miss on whether it allows the formatting to stay the same, but the way that I'm showing you how to do this will work as a PDF or as a Word document. So you could take a picture in your notes and email it to yourself, or you can scan what you need down in the main office and email it to yourself and do this with the PDF that you get as a result of that. But what we're going to do is once we have the file open up, whatever it is that we're going to be using, I'm going to go to File and Print. And this can be done anywhere that you can print stuff. It doesn't have to be in our OneDrive. And for destination, the first time you use this, you're going to have to go down to See More. And I'm going to pick OneNote for Windows 10 because I have Windows 10 installed on this computer. It might give you some different options. Prior to the update, I had to use OneNote 16. So if Windows 10 isn't there, there might be a OneNote 16, or I think this one had just, nope, this one doesn't have just OneNote. So make sure that, if it's not working with one of these options, you try the other one. From here, a couple other things that I would do before printing is open up more settings and set the scale to be fit to printable area. When I tried this the first time, before I had fit to printable area, it cut off some of the left here. So make sure that you set that to fit to printable area just so that your whole document gets into the screen. And then when you upload this through Office Lens, it likes to add some blank pages or some pictures to the bottom. And you can see I have 2 extra blank pages there. So to get rid of those, I just need to go to Custom, and I'm just going to do pages 1 and 2 since there's only one question on that third. When I hit Print, it's going to open that desktop app. And you can see here the different notebooks that I've opened in this desktop app. So even though I have a notebook made for my Computer Science Essentials class, since I did not open it in the desktop version of this yet, that's not going to pop up as an option. But the science team testing is what I'm using. When I go into here, I can open up my content library folder, and I can see that Unit 2 folder that I just created. When I hit OK, it's going to dump that into here. If you look, since I printed it here, it's going to set that page name as printout, but I can easily set that to be whatever I need it to. These are inserted as pictures, so if you need these to be bigger, you can drag the corners and edit the size of them to allow the students to have a little bit more room to write. But the next step that we're going to do only works in the desktop version, which is why we needed to make sure that we had it installed. I'm going to click on this first page of the picture, and then if I have multiple pages, I need to go down to the second page, hold down my control key, and click. And if you look, both of these just got selected, so that lets me know I have both pages. If there's not a dashed outline around both of them, you need to try that again. Then I can right-click, go down here to Picture, and I'm going to set the picture as the background. So what that's going to do is make it to where the kids can't resize that picture anymore. It also makes it to where they can't move it around to where their answers come out of the picture. And it makes it to where they can't highlight this text to copy and paste it into Google and look up the answers kind of effortlessly. Once this is done, I can go through and add any instructions I need to. I could act like this is a blank document and insert pictures. I can attach a file to it. I can put a table in there, whatever I need to do to complete this document. But for this one, that's all I want to do with it. So I am going to go back to my Teams, and I'm going to go into Assignments, and I am going to create a new assignment. And I've done a couple of these just testing, so I'm going to call this one Newest Intro Sheet because there's already a intro sheet and a new intro sheet. I can type instructions here if I need to on what the students need to do. I'm going to add a resource. I'm going to go into my class notebook. I'm going to go into my content library, Unit 2, and click that Intro to Me sheet. Once I do that, it's going to bring me to where I want to put this in the student's version of the notebook. And you're able to decide what these sections are, and you can change them if you need to later on. But since I had that in Unit 2, I'm going to place it here in Unit 2 and hit Done. If I need to do points, I can add that here. And then one thing I almost missed, if you look, mine says students can edit their own copy. Make sure that it says that. If it does not, you can click on these three little dots and click that to get it to check. But when students can edit their own copy, that will allow them to obviously edit it when we assign it to them. They can get it back to us. I can assign it to more than one class if I want to do so. And I need to make sure that I go into here and assign it to all my students. I can set a due date if I'd like to do so. And I can set it to allow, which is the default, late assignments turned in, or I can edit this and close it to where they can no longer turn it in after the due date. Once I hit assign, that's going to go out to all of my students in the class. It takes a second to do so, but you do get a little notification and a sound pop up when it happens. So here in a second, that'll go through. There it is. So what's nice is you can see some of the other ones that I've assigned. When I go in, I can see that Marianne turned this in. It's completed. Alexa wasn't able to open it up. She's at a baseball game, so she wasn't able to get on her computer and test it. And Kathy viewed it, but did not get it all the way finished. So what's nice about this is even though Kathy hasn't turned it in yet, I can go in and see what she's gotten finished and still give her partial credit. Students, after they've done this, always have access to these files. which makes it really nice for whenever they're doing, a test review or anything like that. What they'll do is go into their class notebook, and you're able to view each of the students' individual notebooks. And they'll get those tabs that we assign to them. And I can see that intro to me. This one's not going to be filled out because this is the new one that I just gave to her. But it's kind of neat. If I go into this while she's working on it, I can watch her type her answers and see it live. But there's how you can easily get those files onto assignments and give them to your students where they could edit it in their browser without having to download anything. Hopefully that helps.